Hello. Teenie Harris was known for his depiction of African-American life in Pittsburgh through his black and white photography. Now we can see the rest of his photos in color, thanks to a new Carnegie Museum of Art exhibition. We'll talk to the community archivist. And cooking for a cause. We'll talk to the leader of a downtown restaurant designed to give young people in the juvenile justice system the recipe for success. Plus, it's almost FashionAfricana time in Pittsburgh. It's a big event that's even catching the attention of Essence magazine. We'll hear what's new for the second annual Africanism Gala. So pull up a chair and meet us at the corner. Intersection starts right now. Hello, I'm Lisa Smith, the Director of Community Impact at KDKA+, and the host of Intersections. If music is the soundtrack of our lives, Teenie Harris's photos certainly paint the picture. The longtime Pittsburgh Courier photographer captured 20th century Black life in Pittsburgh for decades, usually in black and white. And now the Carnegie Museum of Art has added color photos and film to its Teenie Harris exhibition. Here to tell us more is Charlene Fogy-Barnett. She is the museum's community archivist for the Charles Teenie Harris Archive Gallery. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
So for people who maybe aren't familiar with Teenie Harris, just kind of give a little bit of who he was and really how important he was to the Pittsburgh community.
Well, I will say that Charles Teenie Harris was a Pittsburgher. He was one of us. And he grew up in the Hill District. He ended his life living in the Homewood area, but he had an interest in photography from a young child, and so he became kind of a freelance photographer, and he ended up becoming so astute at it that he had a full career. He had a studio on Center Avenue in the Hill District for many years, and then the Courier came calling and said, hey, we need you to do some work for us. And so he did work for the Courier for over 40 years. And the treasure trove of information in that catalog is amazing and astounding.
Yeah, you know, we talk about content creators, and like basically he was the content creator before we even knew that word existed. So what is new right now is the fact that the Carnegie Museum of Art has released these color pictures and film. Tell me a little bit about the process of, because it's taken a while to do that.
Absolutely.
What has that process been like, and what's been the reaction so far?
Well, the process began in the late 1998 era, and we started digitizing the catalog in 2001. So it's taken all these years, 24, 25 years, to find out information on each of these photos, because Teenie was a working gentleman, so he was not necessarily thinking about cataloging this collection. And so when he brought the archive to the Carnegie, it was totally unidentified. It had bracket information like women's groups or something that might be common that we would know, but we don't know who, where, what, when, or sometimes why we're seeing these images. And so it took a long time to even start with the nearly 80,000 images in the collection.
Wow.
With the black and white photography. Of course, we started with that first because of the age of the film and also the age of the people that are in those photos. But now the gallery is a full concept gallery of the entire archive. So we have now digitized the color work and his moving film imagery.
Yeah.
And we've also included oral histories. We've been taking them since 2011, and we have about 160 interviews and speakers. So we're using those intermittently in the gallery also.
Yeah, so we're showing some of the images from the gallery just a moment ago. So when people come, what are they going to see, especially like on the walls, and just what is that experience going to be like for people when they attend or when they visit?
What you're going to see is basically Teenie's concept of his work, Teenie's idea of work. because he was photographing for the Pittsburgh Courier, but he was also doing family portraits. I grew up in his lens from infancy literally until my 20s. He did weddings, he did my parents' weddings, all our family weddings. So he was constantly working, and I honestly don't know when he ever rested because he was on the go all the time. That's what you're going to see in this catalog. And you're going to see it kind of in a concept of a timeline that is a constellation timeline, because if we tried to timeline Teenie's life, it would go all around this studio and in a linear fashion. But what we did was group everything in kind of little segments that overlap, so you can see his work, his personal life, his family life with family and friends, activities he participated in, like he was a Negro League baseball player for the Pittsburgh Crawfors, a founding member. And he loved baseball and he loved basketball, just his whole life. But I think what comes through the most is his love for Pittsburgh and for showing the reality of the Black community. That's what he does best. He's our proof of how we really lived.
And so, and we only have a couple minutes left, but are there elements that were never seen before?
Absolutely.
Because I know, like, there's an actual glimpse of Josh Gibson.
Yes, moving.
Yes.
We've used a lot of these still photography images of his for many, many years, but now we've seen that a lot of the film is overlapping with some of the stills, and what we have is Josh Gibson moving, or the Pirates playing at Forbes Field. We have people walking up and down the street or being involved with activities at their church or at some organization. We see the style and the fashion. We see the Crawford Grill and the great musicians and whatnot. We see everything that's represented as the Pittsburgh story, really.
Yeah, and I know you're also working on another project where you're trying to find other African American photographers around the country and their work and highlighting their work. Very quickly, how important is that type of content and imagery for our history?
They're the unsung heroes whose stories haven't been told. They, like Teenie, have been collecting work and content all over the country and working for small newspapers or large African American newspapers or for communities. But some of their work, most of their work, has not been seen. And what they have done, just like Teenie, is they've collected the truth of our existence as people in this country. And it's amazing because you see things, you see, let's say, President Kennedy in a light that you've never seen him before, or you'll see Martin Luther King Jr. in a light you've never seen before because of the local aspect of these photographers, which includes women as well. So we want to tell their story as well.
Well, there's so much to see in so little time. But we thank you for coming, and if people want to go to the art museum, they can go, and then there's also information at Carnegie Art.org, I believe.
Correct.
Okay, good. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All righty. Well, coming up, from the juvenile justice system to running a restaurant is happening right here in Pittsburgh. Intersections. We'll be right back. Well, momentum can change the outcome of a lot of things from sports to life. And that's what Cafe Momentum is designed to do for young people coming out of the juvenile justice center system. It's a restaurant staffed by teens looking for momentum to be the ingredient that changes their lives for good. And wait until you see the menu. Cheyenne Tyler is the executive director of Cafe Momentum Pittsburgh, and Neiko Wilson is an intern at Cafe Momentum. Thank you both so much for being with us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. So, Cheyenne, tell us a little bit about what Cafe Momentum really is and kind of how it got started here in Pittsburgh.
Absolutely. So Cafe Momentum is a national organization that focuses on transformation of the young lives that are impacted by the juvenile justice system. So we're grounded in the belief that every young person deserves to dream, and we create an environment through workforce readiness, access to community resources, as well as a paid work experience in our restaurant to ensure that the young people of our community have that opportunity.
Yeah. So how are the young people brought into this program?
Yeah, there's a variety of ways that young people get to us. Most of the time, they're referring each other, right? It's word of mouth, but it's also 50% of our young people are coming through referrals from the juvenile justice system, Allegheny County Probation, and the Family Division of Courts, but also other community-based organizations such as schools and other nonprofits that we work closely with and collaborate with.
Yeah. So Neiko, tell me a little bit about how long you've been at Cafe Momentum and why did you want to be part of it?
I've been at Cafe Momentum for like a year, maybe 3-4 months.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My friend told me about it, and I was there for a certain amount of time, but at first I wasn't really into it because I didn't know nobody there but my friends. So my friends left, and I think I ended up coming back, and I've been there ever since.
Mm-hmm. Is there a particular piece of it that you really enjoy? What do you feel that you get out of this program?
I feel like I get to learn new stuff like culinary skills, how to correctly hold a knife, how to cook, how to clean. It helps me mature, basically.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think that you'll want to carry on in culinary, or do you think you want to transfer what you're learning here into something else?
Definitely transfer it into something else.
Yeah, yeah. Is that what you normally hear? Is that the anticipation of what this program does?
Yes, absolutely. So we are not in it to create culinary professionals, but if they want to be in culinary and hospitality, we are going to support them in that. We are going to support them in whatever it is that they want to do. And how we do that is by ensuring that they have the skills and competencies beyond just the culinary and the hospitality. So we do financial education, we do work readiness, we ensure that our young people are in school and they receive the supports that they need while they're in school. So we do right now academic tutoring free of charge, and then also free access to mental health. Our young people need mental health, they're dealing with a lot. So we believe really this holistic approach in creating an ecosystem of support for our young people to be safe and really design their own way, design their own path, and we're just here to support them.
Yeah, yeah. Now here's the thing though, that food looks amazing.
It is, thank you.
So tell me how you're able to, help them create, this upscale dining experience, basically.
Yes, absolutely. It is an experience, right? We call it the Cafe Momentum experience. And what our young people do is throughout their time with us, it's about a 12+ month program, I should say. And they rotate through 9 different stations throughout the restaurant. So they're starting with maybe little or no skill on each station, and then they're working their way through what we call our internal certification. So from host to server to what's some other ones? Dish pit,
saute, pastry, expo, busser runner.
Yeah, so they're rotating through, and they're having different experiences. They're engaging with their chef instructors differently. They're engaging with the public differently, as well as their peers and co-workers, excuse me. So they're learning not only the technical skills, but the life skills necessary that are transferable to whatever they want to do in life.
Yeah. No, normally you're open, I think, for dinner. But you're going to kind of do a reset. Yeah. Tell us about the reset, and people can, I think, still get catering orders, I guess, during the holidays. Yes,
absolutely. So holidays are busy for us in the catering space. So what we decided to do is temporarily hold our restaurant dinner service until January. And when we come back in January, we're going to be open for lunch, and we are super excited. Neiko is one of our graduates. He graduated at 16 years old, and he is still a part of our organization. And we are going to have him opening the doors for lunch. And we really believe that it will create some brand awareness, really, and get us into the community, the downtown community.
Yeah, well, we're looking forward to seeing what happens next with Cafe Momentum, and I really thank you both for coming, and it sounds like an amazing, amazing program, so thank you again.
Thank you, Lisa. We appreciate us being here. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, coming up, fashions hit the runway soon in Pittsburgh for the 2nd Annual Africanism Gala. Intersections, we'll be right back. So celebrating fashion, music, drama, and culture. Fashion Africana's second annual Africanism Gala will do all of that and more. The event is hosted by Fashion Africana founder, executive director, and chief creative officer, Demetria Bocella. She joins us today along with their creative director, Darnell McLaurin, and also with us is Mary McKinney-Flaherty, and she is one of this year's Gala co-chairmen. Thank you so much, all of you, for being with us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So, Demetria, we want to start off because it just dropped. It's hot off the presses. Essence.com has a whole article about the gala. First of all, what does that mean to you that Essence.com is featuring this event?
Well, I mean, I'm still processing it. It just came out this morning, and it's just such a huge blessing. I'm thrilled that they highlighted, not only the event, but they're highlighting Pittsburgh, and our region, and how we embrace and celebrate Black creativity. So I'm thrilled that we have this national platform to share our work. So yes, and very special thank you to Yvonne McBride, the writer.
Yeah. And so this is the second year for the gala because
Yes.
last year was just so spectacular. You got to do it again. But one thing about you is you don't do things the same way. You're going to make it different. So what's going to be different this year?
Well, the one major aspect that's different is that we are welcoming the community into our home, into the space where we produce our programming, where we, work with our youth, and where we have our artist residencies. And so we're really thrilled to have that opportunity to do that, right here. So that's the one aspect that's different. Everything else we want to kind of keep as a surprise, but every step of the way, there will be an experience for our guests.
Yeah. So speaking of the experience, Darnell, I think that's kind of where you come in. So how do you make this, creative and engaging and an experience for the people who come?
Wow. It started really with Demetria and I talking through what we want people to experience in terms of like what it is for the Pittsburgh community and community at large to have a wonderful quote unquote Black utopia experience. Think about our artifacts from different regions and continents of the African diaspora, and just really trying to hone in on certain aspects of what we like and what inspire us as a whole. So yeah.
Because it translates.
It translates, yes. Yeah. It translates from, it's actually, you're going to feel like you in Africa. So that's what we're most excited about.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And then Mary, you're the co-chair and you're co-chairing with Kia Tomlin. So together, what are you two doing to help execute, this experience and this event?
So Demetria has, as I described her the other day, is an artistic alchemist. I mean, everything Demetria touches turns to gold and has made this experience really wonderful and fun for us. So we had a fashion shoot the other day. We're amplifying the message, getting it out there, bringing people in the door. And it's all just, this is about showcasing Demetria and Darnell's vision, all of the work that the Africana Initiative is doing, ensuring that gets amplified through this full process.
Yeah, and then you talked about showcasing, and Demetria, I know one of the things being showcased is fashion.
Yes.
You're bringing back, fashion show, so to speak.
Yes.
Tell me about that, and then also the people who you're going to be recognizing this year.
Yes. So the one piece of feedback that we received last year is that folks really wanted to see more fashion. And so this year we're leaning in and we will be presenting more fashion, at the gala. And so we're thrilled because our artist in residence, her name is La Faliez Dion. She's from the Ivory Coast and she's a designer, artist, sculptor. Her medium's the cowrie shell, and so not only will we share and showcase her work in a presentation, but we also will do our thing with Darnell and I, what we do, and we're producing, choreographing a fashion component as well. So lots of fashion, And but also we are honoring Broadway, Tony Award-winning Broadway director Kenny Leon. And so that's where we have Mary and Kia hosting the VIP dinner that will kick off the event on the 21st.
And I know you've known Kenny Leon for a while. What is it that he loves, I guess, about this Pittsburgh area and coming back here and engaging, with this community?
Well, I can't speak directly for him, but what I have observed, his family, is here. So he was best friends with Bill Nunn, the late great film and stage actor Bill Nunn. And so Bill's sister Linnell and her son, and they're still here. And so there is that personal family connection, and then there's August Wilson. And so Kenny was very close to August Wilson, has produced his work on Broadway, and he's the co-founder of the August Wilson Monologue Competition. And so it is really a great honor and privilege to be able to, present him with a legacy award. And it's like, thanking him for all that he does, because it really truly comes from his heart.
Okay, we have like 1 minute left. I want to make sure we talk about the music, because there's going to be some music.
Oh, yeah.
So who wants to take that part about, Rhyme Fest and Mace?
You want
Gardell, go ahead.
Yeah.
So we're excited. Mace, who's local, but is gaining international attraction. So excited to showcase him. And then Rhyme Fest is just major. His artistic ability just supersedes and hit all type of generational gaps. So we're excited to have him perform some of his greatest hits and talk about some of his political influence things that he's got going on. So we're excited to have him.
Okay. Yeah. And then Mary, just quick pitch, please come, what to do, how to come.
Yes, so the gala is next Thursday evening. I forget the start time, sorry. It's a 16. If you go to africanismgala.com,
yes.
You can find tickets there. We really welcome everyone to come, and this is such an opportunity for community connection, collaboration, and showcasing our city and really the world. So
awesome. Well, thank you all so much for being with us, and I'm sure it's going to be a fabulous event. I'll be there too. So thanks again.
Thank you, Lisa. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And I'll have my last word when we come back. Well, time is ticking. Thanksgiving is 2 weeks away, and we're in the final stretch of our 43rd annual KDKA TV Turkey Fund. And once again, we're asking for your help to make sure our neighbors in need have a warm meal this Thanksgiving. So here are all the ways that you can donate. And from all of us at KDKA, thank you. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Intersections.